Today, we do a video in the dark. Does it actually look better like this? It might be a bit more grainy, but like the yellow light over there is really shit. I just hate it. Anyway, with that being said, what is up guys? Welcome to another video, and today we are going to talk about something which is kind of semi-controversial because, you know, along with some other YouTubers, I kind of led this like Tokyo Nights thing. You know, me, Jay, a few others, we kind of led this whole Tokyo Nights thing, and although it would be the ideal Need for Speed game, I can't see it happening. Today I want to talk about that. I want to talk about why, even though in a perfect world, Tokyo Nights would still be my ideal Need for Speed game, and I would love it to come out in, what is it, 2019? I don't think it's going to happen. And we're going to have a bit of discussion about this whole Tokyo Nights thing, because I do feel like there's some general discussion which needs to be had, and this is probably going to be my final video on the topic. There's a lot of other things I could talk about with it, but like I just don't really want to. I feel like I've said a lot of what I need to say, and a lot of it's been misconstrued now, so regardless of what I say, it doesn't really matter. It served its purpose. You know, we got people talking about it, and we've shown Ghost that there is, you know, a demand for this. One of the Tokyo Night videos is one of the most popular on my channel, so I think that really says everything. You know, it's up there with the payback content I've made, so that in itself for me would kind of make this whole thing a success. But I kind of, just kind of want to touch on why I think it's going to happen, and even though it would be perfect, you know, there's a lot of things that Ghost need to sort out first. Number one, let's go ahead and talk about, you know, why I don't think it's going to be there. It's the Holy Grail for car culture. Imagine, you know, like them going and doing this game. Imagine them doing this game and they mess it up. Imagine the outrage. Imagine if it was Payback 2.0, but just in Japan. I don't think anyone would be pleased with that. I can see this Japanese whole thing, this whole Japanese thing, this whole Japan thing becoming kind of the next Underground 3, you know, in terms of people asking for it. And that's not really the intention with this whole Tokyo Nights thing. I did do gameplay videos and talked about modes, and I talked about things they should focus on over other things. Like, it was a development, like guideline thing, I guess, you know, of things that we want to see fixed over different things. That was kind of the idea for it. It wasn't so much just a plea for Japan. And obviously Japan would never happen because Need for Speed is all fictional anyway. And if you look at 2015, there's some pretty heavy influences from Japan in, you know, that game. If you watch Crown Cinematic, which I'll link down in the description, and I won't, you know, put any of it here because you guys should genuinely see that, and I will put down a bunch of other, you know, Tokyo Night videos in the description. But if you look at those videos and you look at 2015, you'd honestly think it would be Japan if you didn't know any better. It's the Holy Grail. It's one of those things where, like, do you really think Ghost would touch something which is perfect? How do you be perfect? The expectations from everyone would be so high, and they'd need to nail a lot of other things. And although the whole Tokyo Nights thing, I believe, you know, well, I know it is, you know, more than just a location plea. It's one of those things. They do need to sort a lot of stuff out, and that includes behind the scenes. Ghost is only a very small studio. If you do any research into Ghost, you will know they are a small studio. They are not large, and obviously a lot of that is EA. You know, a lot of that is EA not giving them the adequate manpower or whatever. But they're a small studio with a lot to do. Need for Speed is a big-ass title, and this is not an excuse for Payback being a shit game. And I haven't touched that game in a very long time, which is sad. You know, if you go back to the Plymouth Barracuda video I made, and then look at the car I used, it was the E30. I had not gone on that game since the last abandoned car was out, which was the E30. But you've got to keep in mind, they're a small studio. So, you know, regardless of Payback's, you know, shortcomings, they've got a lot to do, and trust me, having met the devs and stuff, they work hard on this. I see a lot of people, like, abusing Ben Walk on the subreddit, and I get a lot of it is just jokes, and it's not supposed to be taken seriously. But not all of it is. Like, some of it is genuine. And that shocks me, and I'd hate to be a community manager for that one reason, because people they just get annoyed at you for no reason. It's not my fault that the game's this way. I'm relaying everything you're saying. It's not, he's not like... It's one of those things where the backlash if they did it wrong, you know, and obviously it would be great if they did it right. It's just big expectations, which I just don't think they're in any place to do. And then to convince EA that this is the right way to go and that people want Japan, that's a completely different thing. Because imagine, you know, explaining to non-car people, we want to make a Japanese, you know, inspired game. That's hard. Not sure if I already mentioned you know, about the whole fictional thing. I think I might have just touched on it. But obviously it needs to be fictional as well. So, and personally, I was never asking for a literal Tokyo. Like, a lot of people took that out of context. It's just a name that sounds really good. I wasn't personally asking for a literal Tokyo, somewhere inspired by Tokyo. So obviously, it's fictional. So we'd never get an actual Japan. But like, you know, an inspired city, there's just a lot to it. I'm not sure whether it's you guys, I'm not sure whether I'm the only one that feels this way with Payback and the DLC structure and stuff, but I don't really feel like we're being as listened to as much as we were in 2015. In 2015, the support was constant. You know, we had updates every single month for like the space of like, what, 4 or 5 months, and that was constant. We haven't really had the same this time round. We've had one SpeedX update, which was lackluster, and I don't think many people really touched it after it was out. Like, I'm not going to sit here and say they aren't listening, because I'm sure they are. All I'm saying is in 2015 at this point, we had manual transmission, which was something which the community wanted. You know, the vinyl editor was greatly improved. We had Ace Challenge, Prestige mode. I don't know what went wrong or what's different compared to now to 2015. Obviously, things will change, but you get the point. I see a lot of people giving reasons in terms of why it won't happen, and, you know, problems with Need for Speed, which are inaccurate as well. And that's something I want to address. You know, the whole idea of, oh, it's Frostbite, they can't make a good racing game on Frostbite. That is a fucking lie. Need for Speed The Run was on Frostbite, and that was a very good game. And if you look at the physics from The Run, very much different to the physics that we have currently. I don't believe that excuse. It's a shit excuse. If anyone who believes that is just stupid. Another like shit excuse I see is like, oh, Japan only has JDM cars. If you think that, that's pretty much borderline discriminatory. Not true. Japan has everything. I'm not going to explain it here, but I've seen people say that, and that for me is just very, very arrogant and very ignorant. You know, like, there's a lot to Japan that people don't realize. I don't think they're going to do it because they've got so much more to focus on, and if Need for Speed Payback's story and the way it ends is anything to go by, I don't know. It has me worried. You know, they did the SpeedX thing, and that was Mac's storyline. So who knows where they're going to go with that. If we see another DLC update, a story update from another one of these characters, that is going to have me very scared. Need for Speed is no way on its last shoulders. That's something a lot of people are getting misconstrued. It's not on its last shoulders at all. Yeah, Need for Speed's going to be around for ages. It's a household name. You know, EA would be stupid to get rid of that name with so much heritage. I do hope that, like, this isn't seen as a joke, though, by the guys over at Ghost. And I hope this isn't seen as kind of like an Underground 3 type thing, because it's honestly more than that. I know Theo tweeted about this being silly, and I know I've seen a lot of people like saying, oh, it's not going to work, or people on the Reddit and whatnot. And it really annoys me because there is genuine meaning behind this, and there's people to put effort into this. This has been a community-led effort. And the mere fact that one of the Tokyo Nights menu concept I made is one of the most viewed videos on my channel shows there is a demand for this. And people genuinely believed it was real, even though there was concept in the title. Like, there's a genuine want for this game, and there's a genuine want for, you know, the things that this is a community wish list. It's not a plea for a location, and that's something which a lot of people are getting mixed up on. You know, like, I was genuinely trying to go through the whole gameplay thing, and this is going to be my last video talking about the topic, because I don't think there's much more to be said. I think you guys, the community, us as a whole, we've done a really good job of expressing everything we need to express, and now really it's in Ghost's hands. There's only so much we can do, you know, about this whole thing, and we can dream about Tokyo Nights, and all we can really do is keep the conversation alive. I will forever talk about Tokyo Nights. You know, you see me at E3 next year, I probably will still be tweeting about Japan. That's not going to change. If Horizon does Japan, that puts Need for Speed in a very, very interesting situation, and Horizon was one of those games where the whole game is pretty much the location. And if they do it, that's going to put Need for Speed in a very interesting situation. And if they even think about a Payback 2, I swear to God, if they even think about making a Payback 2, and they don't go back to 2015 and 2015's roots and what the reboot was supposed to be, I will be devastated. Anyway, that's kind of like my little kind of session over with. No more Tokyo Nights videos. I'm done for this now. You know, we did a good effort. This is a good community effort. It was one of those things, it blew up a lot more than I think anyone that kind of planned this whole thing expected it to, and I'm grateful for everyone's support and all the community support. I'll put a link down in the description to a bunch of videos in the hashtag Tokyo Nights. So if you do want to go ahead and have a look through the community stuff, you can go do that down in the description below. But with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this whole thing. It's been really, really cool to see the community band together and ask for something like this. And I really do hope that Ghost listen. And even though I don't think they will, I hope they nail it. And I hope they do Japan. And in the bottom of my heart, I hope they nail it. And I hope, you know, some way this happens. Anyway, that's it from me. I hope you guys enjoyed. And if you did, make sure to go ahead and hit the like, subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one. You guys have an awesome day. Safe and peace.